Okay, it's time once again to talk about Jennifer Soto. We just can't leave it alone because even cops couldn't leave it alone. Even cops digging into Jennifer Soto, they didn't believe her as late as April 17th of this year. They were digging into her, getting search warrants, trying to figure out more. It's now November, they're probably still digging into her. Even though reports have claimed they have no plans to arrest Jennifer Soto, these latest documents prove they were still taking a deep dive into Jennifer, all of the communications they could find between Jennifer and Stefan and everything. And now I've been digging more too. And thank God I finally found Jennifer's Cash App. I've heard about it. I've never seen it, but thank the Lord I found it. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Jennifer Soto's 2022 Nissan Sentra and this damage report on June 6, 2024. And we can talk briefly about this latest photo dump. This latest photo dump from Florida authorities, The Docket. The YouTuber named The Docket, he purchased about 50 photos, and as we expected, as we had been warned, nearly all of them are redacted. The only photos in this batch that are not redacted say stuff like downstairs bedroom between closet and bathroom. It looks like maybe that's an envelope, or maybe that was the label for evidence and where they retrieved it from in the condo. Downstairs bathroom and downstairs bedroom on floor between tub and sink. I don't know what they got because we got a bunch of black photos. They're doing their job. Downstairs bedroom closet. So that's what we got there. But I've been digging and digging and digging. I actually even called Stefan Stern's phone numbers, at least one attributed to him. I wanted to hear the outgoing message, but that phone is off. It's not active. The same with the number attributed to Jennifer Soto. But this Cash App account has me thinking so many things. Thank God for Reddit. The people on Reddit dig and dig and dig. And I had read one comment from a person, I hope it wasn't that Chomo. Anyway, I read one comment from a person who said he or she had seen Jennifer Soto's Cash App account. I'd never seen a picture before. He or she had described Jennifer has pink hair in the photo, and I'm like, where is this? I couldn't find it. Bless God, I went through and searched because I feel like you can't search Cash App anymore by phone number. That's how certain 911 operators, I heard on a different case, they were able to uncover a person's identity by placing their phone number in Cash App. Well, I tried all that. It didn't work. But thankfully, I was able to find it through using a variation of Jennifer's nicknames. You know, she had a ton of nicknames under different social media accounts. And I discovered Jennifer joined Cash App in November 2017. Ironically, this is right after she met Stefan Stearns. So of course that has my mind like whirling, like, why did she join? Why does she still have the account active? So many things. But for her profile photo, she chose a photo that features her signature, you know, that smile where she closes her mouth and her dimples. You can see her wearing black rimmed glasses. And she has pink hair. It could be like a Snapchat filter or something. She might not have literally dyed her hair pink, but it really does look like in real life it could be dyed pink. She looks younger, her eyebrows are on point. She looks better in that photo. Maybe she used, I don't know what time period she used the photo from. Maybe it was from 2017. That also makes me wonder, has she changed her appearance even more in the wake of her daughter's untimely, horrible death? Madeline Soto, 13 years old, the man that cops believe is responsible for not only Maddie's murder, but for horrific abuse, which we'll talk more about. They believe the perpetrator is Stefan Stearns. He's now 38 years old. He's sitting in jail waiting for his next appearance, and he was Jennifer's on-again, off-again boyfriend. So let's talk all about the reasons. Let's pontificate and speculate all the reasons why Jennifer may not have deleted her Cash App account, why she might have set it up at that point in time, what she was going through in 2017 and beyond. She's deleted almost every other social media account I can find. She's deleted all those, but not Cash App. Do you remember when she was first under Facebook under Jenn Lisette, one of her nicknames, Jenn Lisette? She published that first post I saw exclaiming, "Help me find my daughter." I might have seen that February 26th or maybe the 27th. I don't know when I first became aware of the case. It was very, very early. People always say they're following cases from day one, and I'm like, well, probably not. You know, we probably don't hear about it sometimes until day 2 or 3, even very popular cases like Shanann Watts' case. Some people literally do hear about it from day 1. But when controversy ensued, Jennifer briefly changed her Facebook profile to a sunflower photo. She got rid of the photo of her sitting there looking pretty, and her hair did look a little, maybe like red highlights or burgundy or something, and she removed the photo of like Stephen Stearns lurking in the background behind her like a creeper standing behind her car, like looking through the back window. So she changed the name briefly from Jenn Lissette to Sailor Coda. Sailor Coda, those were the names of their pets, their dog and their cat, I believe, that we heard being called in such a humorous recording on that automatic pet feeder when Jennifer gave that sobering TV interview about her missing daughter. But Jennifer couldn't help but smile when she heard Stefan's voice. It sounded like his voice, "Coda, Coda, Sailor." Some people thought it was a parrot.
She wanted to walk the rest of the way. That should be it. Sorry about that.
But it might have been Maddie also in there. It's hard to tell on that recording. She couldn't help but smile just hearing her boyfriend's voice. Never mind she was in the middle of an interview about her missing daughter and Lord knows where her daughter is. She couldn't help but give that smile. But then perhaps Jennifer realized how inappropriate that smile was, and she kind of just goes, "Sorry," like it'll stop in a few. But there's no more Facebook for Jennifer. There's no more Instagrams, save for any screenshotted photos, save for any screen recorded videos. Thank God the woman, I will flash her tag on TikTok here. She caught a lot of that stuff. If not for her, we wouldn't have a lot of these Jennifer Instagram photos and videos. Now, I don't think I found Jennifer on Snapchat. I found someone like a Jenny Lissette, but that doesn't mean it's Jennifer. Unfortunately, the name Jennifer Soto is so popular. Even one of the officials, the officers or some capacity, Jennifer Soto shows up in all these police documents, but it's not the Jennifer Soto we're talking about when they're, when she's signing official paperwork. And thankfully I found Jennifer's cash tag under one of her various nicknames that she used across the web, and it's still out there. I won't publicize it because I don't want people just, hitting it up and with pay requests. Or my main goal is that investigators see all this stuff. Reportedly, one person, at least one authority in Florida, watches these YouTube videos. According to her, she works for Florida authorities. So I like to pass on what I've found to see, oh my goodness, let's pray they've checked all this too, which I'm sure they have. But let's talk about what was Jennifer doing in 2017, that year that she started this Cash App account. According to court records, Jennifer L. Soto was divorcing Stephen K. Young. We've heard from Stephen in different interviews, in at least one interview, I believe, with police after Maddie disappeared. I don't think I've published any of his interview yet on this channel. Her ex-husband has been interviewed, and he's actually reached out to a lot of us personally, many YouTubers. He seems like a kind and caring man, and certain things that we get from police aren't totally redacted. They're kids' names that appear, and so a lot of stuff, some stuff I've held back on, just to be more protective, I guess. But don't we wish Madeline would have had a protective mother? Madeline would have only been 6 years old in 2017, and it was around the same time Jennifer met Stefan. That's what she says. She met him around that time. Jenn even explained it in a police interview how she met Stefan at work. So if you look at the video titled below, I've linked to it. It's called called No Commentary, Jennifer Soto Not Evil, March 1st, 2024, Orange County interview when Maddie's mom is confronted. Indeed, police really confronted her. So it's around the 54-minute mark. Jennifer starts explaining she met Stefan in 2017 when they both worked for some company called Echo Homes. So I couldn't find a lot about this Echo Homes place, but she said, we both worked for Echo Homes, a real estate company. I did appointments and he worked in the office doing like warranty work. We met as co-workers. We became really good friends. We were best friends, she says. I don't know, something about that kind of creeped me out. We became really good friends. We were best friends. The part that creeped me out about that is later in Jennifer's other interview, that transport interview where she's explaining, and there's other ones too, but she's explaining how Stefan and Maddie, and it's redacted of course, so it's hard to tell, but she's explaining how Stefan and Maddie were kind of like best buds, best friends. It creeped me out, and even maybe partners in their nerdy gameplay and all that stuff. It creeped me out to have Jennifer equate herself like, oh, we were best friends, Stefan and I were best friends, and then to hear her equate the same type of relationship almost with Stefan and Maddie, it just, I don't know. But anyway, she's explaining they were best friends for like a year, so this is in 2017, I believe. Jennifer's going to explain it a little bit deeper, trying to get the timeline right. We met as coworkers, we became really good friends, we were best friends for like a year, and then eventually I asked him if he wanted to hook up, and he said sure. So I was like, okay, Jennifer was fresh off of her divorce from Steven. She was on the prowl, and she was the one who had to make advances at Stefan in order to bed him, which is, to me, that's a number one red flag, starting off the relationship right there. I mean, I know I don't want to sound like a total boomer here, but you don't have to chase men. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the shyest man out there will let you know by words and deeds and actions, all of it, he will let you know that he wants you. So Stefan must not have wanted Jennifer. That's my logic. If they were up there best friends for a year, and after a year she has to come on to him like, you want to hook up? And he's like, sure. Did he say sure? Or did he wait to know, oh, she's got this beautiful little girl at home, just my type? Is that when he said sure? Anyway, it's just like one of Stefan's friends claimed, I believe in one of those interviews on Gray Hughes Investigates. He talked about going to a bar or somewhere, this guy with Stefan, and saying women seem to be interested in Stefan. Women were, I guess, adult women coming up to Stefan, but Stefan seemed unfazed. And so now we know why Stefan wasn't interested. These women likely were not in his age bracket, and he probably only said yes to Jennifer because he knew what she had at home. A little girl, unfortunately. I keep thinking of Kendrick Lamar's song here, his diss track, trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor. I can't hold it out like he does. He not like us. Stern's not like us. That's what I'm thinking. But did Stefan only say yes to Jennifer over that year, whenever this was, 2017? Or even it could have been 2016, I think I keep hearing. Was she showing him, oh, I have Maddie at home, and here's Maddie here, and here's Maddie this, and here's Maddie that, and okay, I've been working with you for a year, but I have to hit on you? Like, we're besties. What does she mean by best friends? Were they just going out to lunch? Did they talk a lot? Did they open up their lives to one another? Only when he knew Jennifer was some kind of package deal, was that the only reason he said yes? Well, Stefan lists his position as a real estate agent on LinkedIn with Home Clicks Realty, self-employed from April 2014 until June 2017. He worked there 3 years and 3 months as a sales associate, listing agent, listing manager. I don't know if it was that company. Stefan also lists a position as a permit coordinator with Smart Build Capital, self-employed, from January 2017 until July 2018, working there for 1 year and 7 months in Orlando, Florida. There's kind of an overlap there. He left one job allegedly in June 2017, but he also had a different job starting in January 2017. I don't know which of these companies, if any of them, were related to that now defunct Echo Homes, but I keep digging to determine, okay, what was the main source of income for Jennifer and Stefan? I keep finding it fascinating that Jenn opened this Cash App account in November 2017, the same year she allegedly met Stearns, and was this just a coincidence? And did Stearns have his own Cash App account or Venmo account to take payments from people for nefarious purposes? We keep wondering. I haven't found any of Stearns' Cash Apps or Venmos or anything like that. I didn't find a Venmo for Jennifer. Hopefully cops have all this info. Hopefully investigators have, gotten positive responses from subpoenas. I hate the way Instagram, which would be Facebook, that would be Meta, some of these companies, you see search warrants for really serious crime cases. You will see the cops write these lovely long search warrants and requests, subpoenas, and then you will see the company say, nope, privacy issue, can't give you that. And it's like, come on, we're talking about the murder of a child here. I hope they gave them good results in this instance. So it's also ironic that right around the time that this permit coordinator position with Smart Build Capital ended in July 2018, that's when he reportedly started hooking up, was more than friends with Jennifer Soto, as she puts it. I'm wondering, did Stearns find a more lucrative, under-the-table venture for making money around that time? Is that why he didn't need a traditional job? Okay, so this is what Jennifer is explaining to the cops. In 2017, he technically lived at his parents' house, but he was staying at my house all the time. Basically, she's saying they lived together in 2017. So I guess that's where the 2016 comes into play. If she had met Stearns and had been his best friend for a whole year before they started hooking up, chances are she met him in 2016, because by 2017, she's saying he technically lived at his parents' house, but he was staying at my house all the time. So by 2017, they're hooked up. Stefan's always at the condo. I'm assuming she's talking about the condo, but she changes it up. That's another thing that gets confusing. The cop is asking her, okay, same house you're in now or a different house? Jenn says, wait, take it back. I'm surprised she didn't say, just kidding, just kidding. She says in 2017, he wasn't staying over my house. It started in 2018 when we started hooking up, and he started sleeping over my house.
When did you meet Steven or Stefan?
I met Stefan in 2017. We both worked for Eco Homes, a real estate company. I did appointments, and he worked in the office doing warranty work. We met as coworkers. We became really good friends. We were best friends for a year. And then eventually I asked him if he wanted to hook up, and he said sure.
You said 17, 18. Did you live in Orlando, Kissimmee? Where were you guys staying then?
Kissimmee.
And did you guys live together in 17?
He technically lived at his parents' house, but he was staying at my house all the time.
Okay. Same house you're in now or a different house?
Wait, I take it back. In 2017, he wasn't staying over my house. It started in 2018 when we started hooking up, and he started sleeping over my house.
Okay.
And what was your next question?
Was that in the current
Yes.
house you live in now?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you lived in that house?
On and off, because at one point we moved close to where his parents live right now. They live in Northport, Florida.
So in essence, she's confused about the dates. Maybe they truly met in 2017. They were best friends, maybe that whole year or what have you. We don't know how long. And then by 2018, they started hooking up, and Stefan started sleeping over Jenn's house. So we know that's when he had likely 24/7 exposure to Maddie, I'm assuming. But the evidence of misuse of Maddie didn't begin, according to the authorities, the proof they have, not until Juneteenth, which was June 19, 2019. Now, according to the state's attorney's charges against Stefan, they have evidence beginning June 19th, 2019 of Stearns treating Maddie horribly. You guys know what I mean. Keep in mind this is only the start date of when their photographic evidence or video evidence begins, not necessarily when he began these dastardly deeds against the little girl. The way some of these guys work, maybe they slide their way into the homes of vulnerable women. He might not have cataloged the abuse technologically against Maddie until 2019. It might have started as early as 2018 or even 2017. Jen's not clear on the 2017 part, but that was the same year she opened her Cash App. That was the year she met Stearns. So he could have been assaulting her, I hope not, as early as 2017 when she was only 6 years old. We won't know because we know Stearns isn't telling and Jenn truly might not have known. I have to always leave room open for maybe she didn't know anything. But the cops may not have been able to find evidence as far back as 2017. Thankfully, when he factory reset his phone twice, I didn't realize that action would sync everything back up to the cloud, which is great. And maybe it only synced it back up as far back as 2019. Stearns might have had a different phone in 2017. We never know. Maybe it wasn't even synced to the cloud, or could have been a different carrier, or rather it could have been, who knows what it was. But bless God, they do have hard evidence starting in 2019 going forward, enough for any jury in the land to convict this man. I can't imagine seeing this stuff that I don't want to see, but a jury will have to realize the horrors of what he inflicted upon this young girl. According to that latest 501-page PDF, that discovery dump, there is a file, and the name of the file has the date July 2nd, 2019, depicting Stefan doing horrible things to Maddie. She was only 8 years and 4 months old, and she was watching cartoons. That's the hard part, where like she's a little girl just sitting there trying to watch cartoons, and this man is just, ugh. Anyway, years later, Jennifer would tell investigator that she herself was disabled. Presumably, I think that means she was collecting disability benefits, like we saw the handicap sticker in her Nissan Sentra. And Jennifer did tell investigators she does not make much money.
So we're waiting for that to kick in so he can get his job back. And in the meantime, he just has to get something down there to be able to save up to come up here because I can't afford to. I'm disabled. I work part-time. I don't make that much money.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, how did Jennifer support herself enough to pay money to her dad for rent, to buy food, gasoline, insurance, and afford this newish car that is at the center, in a way, of this case? Did disability cover all those expenses and help Jennifer pay for Maddie's expenses and for that free-loading, free-loafing Stearns to hang out around the condo and eat all their food? Let's look at the cost of Jennifer's car. So we know Jennifer was driving this 2022 white two-door Nissan Sentra SV, Florida tag NVJS91. Now, the original MSRP for a 2022 Nissan Sentra SV was $21,030, with Jennifer telling cops in the interview, "I'm disabled, I work part-time, I don't make that much money." You'll see it in the video linked to below around the 2-hour and 56-minute mark. How did she survive? We don't know how much disability pays, and it's private, but it makes you wonder. In the meantime, Stefan could not hold down a job either to save his life. At least 2 jobs fell through, we've heard talked about in these interviews. At one point, they moved somewhere down near Northport, I guess just Jennifer, Stefan, and Maddie in some apartment, and that job fell through. And then more recently, Stefan left Kissimmee in December 2023, that same time that Maddie sent him that text of mom and dad coins. He left and that job fell through. And by the way, anything we quote here, if you guys I've seen people be confused about who literally sent the text. In one of the documents, it literally says Maddie sent Stefan a text, not even redacted. It was saying Maddie sent Stefan a text containing a photo of 2 coins. And then we had the rest redacted. It said something about sexual activity. Redacted. We don't see anything else, but we see that Maddie's name is there. Maddie sent Stefan the text. And then later in this 501-page dump, as I showed you guys before, anyone who has the PDF, all you got to do is just highlight sections and go paste it like in TextEdit or Notepad or whatever you have on your computer. And you will see sometimes Maddie's name is not fully redacted. You still see the DELINE. Anyone can do this. I've seen people be confused about that. And I'm like, if you just have the original PDF, you can just do it. It's not going to be everywhere throughout the document, but in certain locations you definitely see. And in the Madeline coin text exchange, that was definitely Madeline texting Stefan, whether it was about a real baby, Tamagotchi coins, whatever, we just don't know. But back to Jennifer and Stearns. Jennifer told police about Stearns quitting his Disney job, where he worked at that Soarin' attraction, and the journey into imagination with Figment ride in Epcot. Now we captured, someone, this other great YouTuber captured him, Stearns, on video. It was a YouTube video published to YouTube on July 29th, 2023. So we know that Stearns was working at that point at Disney, but he would quit the job, as Jennifer told cops later. There's irony to me also in Stearns working for this Figment ride, because Maddie's Instagram account was named Little Figment. So I'm like, did he encourage her to start her Instagram account, and did he name it? I don't know, maybe she just liked Figment. But the type of position that Stefan held at Disney likely didn't pay much money. Now, I don't know what his specific role is called. I think Jennifer may have mentioned it, but it likely wasn't enough money for him to be like shelling out money hand over fist and ordering all these packages and expensive little toys. I mean, some of those you can see if you look back on Stearns' Reddit account. First of all, he loved so many weapons. Looks like he had a lot of those. I'm sure those are not cheap. And also, he would order I think he would order different vintage things, like all the way from overseas. Like, I don't know how much the Tamagotchis are. I've seen just like prices here and there. Some of those things can be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Now, pay rates for Disney World jobs in Florida can vary depending on the role and the experience level, but here's some examples I found. One is like a greeter, which might have been what Stearns was, and that pays less than $16 per hour. I'm not sure if Stefan worked full-time. I can't see him doing that. I remember on Reddit him complaining about, he would get so many steps at Disney, and he must have worked hours and hours, but I'm not sure if he got any full-time hours. But according to Jennifer, Stearns did quit that job, and she was even talking in that transport video. It's hard to hear her, but she's talking about, we're trying to get him back up here, but apparently there must be some kind of rule. You have to wait 6 months. After you quit a Disney job, there's some kind of 6-month waiting period, and she's like, we're trying to get him back up here and all that. Now, I know Stefan's dad, Chris Stearns, paid his rent. In fact, Chris Stearns was complaining about, look, we're tapped out. And we heard in that latest jail call that Chris is like, look, Stefan's asking for money for commissary, put money on his books. And Chris Stearns, I felt bad for him. He's like, look, we're broke. We're going to be on lockdown. Like, basically, just stop. I know his dad was paying his rent for a while. Even for a while, he's like, look, Stefan, I can't keep doing this. And real estate, I know it's fluctuating. Also, Chris and Deborah Stearns are older. It's one thing, when you ride the market and you're doing well as a real estate agent and stuff's going great, if it's a boom time, with the economy's great or whatever, and maybe they were able to just kind of buy Stefan his toys and support him through his 20s and all that. But now that they're older, it should be their retirement years. In the 70s, your 70s, you have health issues. His parents have health issues. I'm sure they want to slow down and not worry about the burden of some 38-year-old son sucking them dry, So I know his dad was paying Stefan's rent, but where did Stefan get all this money for these expensive toys and food and even gasoline? The normal things of life. We know how much stuff costs just to live. Even Chris and Deborah Stearns expressed their confusion over Jennifer and Stefan having lots of unaccounted for money. Indeed, if you're kind of on disability, I have to assume it wouldn't pay a woman like Jennifer that much. Stefan had quit his Disney job. His dad was being tapped out. And you still got to fill up the car. You still got to buy food. Maddie, they had to, I'm sure, buy clothes for Maddie, and there were things. And Jennifer had just started that job at the front desk at Coronado Springs, so it's not like she had that job for a while. Now, meanwhile, Stefan was tooling around in older cars, not newer cars. It looks like his money was going towards Tamagotchis and God knows what else, but not towards a new car. There was a 2012 taupe Honda Civic. That was Stefan's car. I don't know how often he drove that, because there was an even older 2010 silver Lincoln MKZ, more famous one. It was a car that Chris Stearns owned, but Stefan was driving. But Jennifer's car was newer. A 2022 Nissan Sentra SV. We have the VIN number. It was 4-door, front-wheel drive. So I'm like, well, at least Jennifer probably had good enough credit to get that car. More on that later. Where is Jenn now, and how is she making money all these months later? Now, the Facebook groups dedicated to Maddie reported initially that Jennifer's car was spotted at her sister's house, and they were right, because later Jennifer did tell police she was hiding out at her sister's house. I didn't realize it was so close to the condo, because these reports from the authorities noted, I won't tell you her sister's address, of course, but they noted that Jennifer's sister's home was only walking distance from the infamous condo, and I looked it up on Google Maps, and it is only a 10-minute walk. But I don't know if Jennifer's still there. So I was like, oh, no wonder Jennifer's sister would have given Maddie a ride home from the party that night, her birthday party, that Sunday, February 25th, because she lives right around the corner, which is one more reason why Stearns did not need to be there at all. Jennifer's sister dropped Maddie off at the condo, and Jennifer's sister, in essence, Maddie's aunt, was right around the corner. So if Jennifer was worried about Maddie needing any help, needing an adult nearby, her sister was right there. Her sister dropped Maddie off that night, and Jenn came home, by 10:30-ish? So Maddie, only had a couple of hours alone, which is fine to me for a 13-year-old who seemingly is as mature as Maddie was, self-capable, confident, able to take her own showers, wash her own hair, brush her hair, get ready for bed. There was no need for Stearns to be there. There was no need for help. If there was an emergency or anything Jennifer was truly worried about, she could have said, okay, your aunt's going to drop you off at home, and she's 10 minutes away. If you need anything, she's right there. I'll be home at 10:30. No need for Stearns to be there. So that's another thing I was like, what? Anyway, how did Jenn's car get damaged? That's my question. On Thursday, June 6, 2024, damage was reported to Jennifer's 2022 Nissan Sentra, her white sedan. So I'm like, what happened to damage Jennifer's car on June 6th? According to the CARFAX report, I've linked to it below, the PDF. I spent nearly $50 to get this report because I'm just so interested in what's going on with this case. Seeing Maddie get her justice, seeing all the culprits, if it's just Stearns, that's fine, but seeing everyone who needs to be arrested. But according to CARFAX, there was no total loss reported to CARFAX. Oh, his dog. Oh my God. As far as structural damage, quote, CARFAX recommends that you have this vehicle inspected by a collision repair specialist. There was no airbag deployment reported to CARFAX. So I was like, what happened? Because remember when Jennifer was trying to, again, her and Stearns with the woe is me. She was like, I was sobbing. I was doing the ugly cry, and I was driving, and I was, she was explaining in one of those interviews to the cops, I was driving and I could have gotten into an accident. So part of me is like, did Jennifer get into an accident? But maybe not. It just says damage, not accident. So I don't think she was in the car. I don't know. Who knows? Did a branch fall on Jennifer's car? Did someone damage it intentionally? Someone who's following the case and wanting justice for Maddie and damaging her car, which I do not recommend. If anyone sees Jennifer out and about, or if anyone sees her car, I don't recommend anyone doing, harmful things or vandalizing or harming anyone. That's not what we want. We only want true justice for whoever was responsible in Maddie's case. Did some kind of damage from Hurricane Milton hit Jennifer's car? We don't know. CARFAX says, quote, not all damage is caused by an accident. The original warranty on Jennifer's car is estimated to have 9 months or 35,990 miles remaining. So it's a single owner car that has an estimated length of ownership of 2 years and 4 months. So Jennifer's owned this car for a couple of years now, and it looks like Jenny Soto bought the car exactly around June 30th, 2022. And she even left the sales guy a great review. Customer service, friendliness, price, recommended dealer. Yes, she had good things to say about this sales guy. But will Jennifer sell her 2022 Nissan sedan? I was thinking, if a person's trying to go into hiding or something like Nicole Kessinger, selling her truck, or if something happens where it puts the spotlight on people and a white Nissan Sentra is Jennifer's car, would she sell it, in order to take the spotlight off of her or be less recognizable? Well, if so, the new owner should know that according to police, that Nissan took a suspicious trip after Maddie's disappearance. Now, quote again in the new paperwork, and some of this was in the old paperwork, but it says, quote, Stefan was determined to be the last person in contact with Madeline and is considered a suspect in her disappearance. However, during the investigation, it was determined that Jennifer's vehicle, a 2022 Nissan sedan, had been used after Madeline's disappearance. The Nissan drove the exact same path of travel that Stefan had driven his vehicle, the Lincoln MKZ, immediately after Madeline's disappearance. This is known through red light cameras, license plate readers, and surveillance videos. Jennifer's and Stefan's phones were left behind at their apartment. Now it says, quote, we cannot prove who was driving Jennifer's vehicle during this time frame prior to Stefan's arrest.
Real quick, I don't remember Detective Tagler asked, but yesterday when you guys were out looking, do you remember what time you were out until?
So yesterday, I stayed in the office. My family went out searching.
Which office?
1355, yeah.
You stayed until what time?
I'm gonna say somewhere between 8 and 9 o'clock. I left and then I came home.
You came straight here?
Yeah.
And then who was out? Your family was out?
Yeah, but I think they all stopped actually, I'm not sure. One of my uncles might have kept searching along the trail.
So we know in the interviews Jennifer talked about, oh yeah, Stefan said he took my car to go out and look for Maddie. It was the middle of the night, so obviously they don't have enough photographic or video evidence to prove who exactly was driving that Nissan. But this is interesting. On April 17th, 2024, this application and affidavit for search warrant, one day before Jennifer's big derivative immunity interview, it says, Jennifer told detectives that she communicated with Stefan via cell phone after Madeline went missing. Jennifer stated she would communicate with Stefan using Google Meet. I don't know if I've used that before, maybe for some meetings here and there. Text messages in Jennifer's cell phone reveal she would ask Stefan to use a Google application to communicate instead of normal text messages. So obviously they're talking about prior to his arrest, Jennifer was asking Stefan to use Google Meet to communicate instead of normal text messages. Now I know certain people like to use WhatsApp and everything, especially if they're communicating with someone overseas, because that would be cheaper. But I don't know why Jennifer would prefer Google Meet over normal text messages. Anyway, it says a search warrant was lawfully obtained to search the contents of Jennifer's cell phone. However, some items that would have been backed up on Jennifer's iCloud account may not have appeared on her cell phone. Jennifer also had control over Maddie's iCloud account, which gave her the ability to approve or deny any apps Maddie applied for. Due to the material inconsistencies provided by Jennifer about the disappearance of Maddie, they know she was shady, given 1,000 different conflicting stories. There's likely evidence of communication between Stefan Stearns and Jennifer regarding the disappearance of Maddie within Jennifer's iCloud account. So they're saying there's probably evidence here, likely evidence here, of communications between Stearns and Jennifer regarding Maddie's disappearance within Jennifer's iCloud. Also, data potentially contained in Maddie and Jennifer's iCloud accounts may show if devices belonging to Jennifer or Maddie were within Jennifer's Nissan on February 26th. They're saying there's probable cause to believe there's evidence regarding this capital sexual batteries, all these crimes, possessions of CSAM and all that. So that's why that was written. It's interesting that it was written, as late as April 17th, the day before that big interview. They just don't trust Jennifer. Now, by now, all these months later, May, June, July, August, September, October, 6.5 months later, have they had the time to, have they even gotten all the results of all their subpoenas and search warrants? Have they had the time to go line by line and research everything by now? I hope so. But back to that car review, Jenny, looks like she wrote, Eric was very thorough and helpful. Fastest experience I've ever had at a dealership, I guess. I can't find the rest of that. But if you look at the CARFAX, you will see the Florida Motor Vehicle Department shows that Jennifer's registration was issued or renewed. Once again, it says loan or lien reported. Just like on June 30th, when she purchased the vehicle, it only had 10 miles on it. It said the same thing September 8th, 2023. So I guess she's just, renewing her registration. But little could anyone predict that her murdering boyfriend would be driving around in that same vehicle in 2024 to do God knows what. If he was the one who, was driving at that same path, if he went out to Maddie's body, I don't know what he was doing. So we know liens on cars are issued or loans are issued when it's purchased with borrowed money, to note that the lender has a claim on it if Jennifer fails to fulfill her loan. So Jenn must have had good enough credit to purchase that car. I don't know how much her monthly payments are. It's not the most expensive car in the world. We're not talking about a Bugatti here or something. So I guess it's not a stretch for her to be able to afford a $20-something thousand car, but I just wondered how. And again, on August 2nd, 2024, her registration was renewed or issued. So it was renewed, most likely. So I'm thinking, how's she making money now? Is Jennifer working for DoorDash? That's what the rumors are claiming. Jennifer obviously doesn't have her Disney World job anymore. Jennifer told the investigator she worked that Sunday night before Maddie was reported missing at her front desk job at Disney's Coronado Springs. Now, that's a high-profile job that many people would recognize Jennifer, especially in the Orlando area. If she were still working there, they would be taking plenty of videos and I'm sure cussing her out galore. So is Jenn still in hiding? Someone wrote on Facebook, does anyone local have the scoop on Jenn Soto? Is she in hiding? I saw a rumor about her doing DoorDash. I'm just genuinely curious what she would be doing with her life when she's being so publicly crucified, rightfully so, on the internet, in the news, etc. It fascinates me. So I'm curious what the word around town has been. There was a post on here that got deleted because it got out of hand, where at least 5 to 6 of us said we'd seen someone who looked like her in a certain area, including myself, the person said, but I'm not 100%. I saw this person in the parking lot, parked across from me, but I can't be sure. It's wild that none of these people caught photos of her. But can you imagine, someone wrote, getting a DoorDash from Jennifer? Now, I'm not saying the area mentioned because I don't want to take any risks of, Jenn coming to any harm. That's not what this is about. No matter what case I research, no matter what the person has allegedly done or hasn't done, I'm never on this, vigilante justice type of thing. That's never my intention. So that's why I redact certain things more than usual. If cops have found any evidence against Jennifer, they will arrest her. I have to trust in that. And if they miss it, like we've seen in cases over the years, cops might not be able to get enough evidence, or even they get enough evidence and they can't secure a conviction when certain people go to trial, like O.J. Simpson, let's say, who I always believed was guilty for the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. But OJ has met his maker by now, so that's Jesus, justice. What else can we say? That's the ultimate court. That's the ultimate judge is God. So I have to leave it up to that. I can't say, people should be exacting any type of revenge against Jennifer. We still don't know what she knew, no matter how shady she is. But could she be a door dasher? Is she dashing? Potentially, Jennifer could be dashing. It's probably an easy job to get started, to make quick money. She can just drive her Nissan around if that's what she's driving. She can work probably the hours she wants to work, as little as much, and sleep, get all her deep sleep in the meantime. But it would expose her to so many people who could recognize her, unless she's has the cap on and maybe hoodied up and maybe has changed her appearance and maybe she's blonde now, who knows. But if she has lost any income from Stefan's absence, if he was making some money under the table somewhere, she might just be desperate enough to become a dasher. And that's no shade towards door dashers. That's good, hard, honest work. Thank God for door dashers. I'm just saying, Jennifer, her own condition, she might be desperate enough because of what she's been through, because of how mad people are at her, and just desperate enough to keep her life going. Now, I even looked up, when do dashers get paid? They get paid on a weekly basis for all deliveries or tasks completed Monday through Sunday of the previous week, and payments are transferred directly to your bank account. It says through direct deposit. So I was like, oh, can they pay you through Cash App? Is that why Jennifer never deleted her Cash App? But it says it goes to the bank account. So it doesn't seem like they can get paid through Cash App unless I missed it. So why didn't Jennifer delete her Cash App account? Is she still getting any disability, or did that white hot international attention of this case cause the government to take a look at Jennifer's case? And are they still giving her disability? Again, disability benefits are private, so we don't know how much she's making. Or did Jennifer just lose the password to her Cash App account? Did she forget she had a Cash App account? Does she still need it? I got to keep this open to make money, however she's making money. And is that the one app she can't afford to just delete, like Instagram, or I don't know if she ever had a YouTube, or, whatever. If she wasn't making money through any other way, I didn't see a Venmo for her. And maybe she can't put the Cash App under some fake name. Maybe it has to be her name. Block Inc. is the parent company of Cash App, but I didn't see that name specifically in any of the search warrants. But hopefully the investigators have researched all Jennifer's Cash App activity. We can't see the transactions. Perhaps they can. And I'm checking the court records also, not only Osceola Court, but Orange County. And only thing we see there is State of Florida versus Jennifer Lisette Soto. These are very old traffic infractions. Back in 2006, 2007, 2008, she's probably keeping it under the speed limit wherever she drives. If she drives anywhere now, maybe she's very paranoid about being seen. So that's it. Galatians 3:13. Christ purchased our freedom and redeemed us from the curse of the law and its condemnation by becoming a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone who hangs crucified on a tree. Cross. Thanks so much for watching all of this again, this deep dive into Jennifer, the fascinating woman who we just can't get enough of, because maybe it just feels so unfinished. When something feels unfinished, maybe that's why people just keep digging and looking and everything. And God's honest truth, if Jennifer had nothing to do with anything, if she knew nothing, that's it. I'm willing to just let it go and pray she has a good life and just move on and grieve and whatever. But if she's more than a grieving mother, if she's the type of woman who served her daughter up on a platter and conspired with Stearns to try and keep it secret, well, that's a whole nother story. And I hope cops keep digging into her and digging and digging. So I'm glad I found her CARFAX. Certain things just come to my mind, thank the Holy Spirit. I'm like, okay, in the Chris Watts case, I remember people used his VIN number to check the CARFAX, realize when that horrible truck he used, his APC truck to move his family, unfortunately, when that got sold, the VIN number popped up, so I can keep track of Jennifer's the same way. And I'm grateful I found her Cash App, because it's good to see her in different lights, in different photos. I doubt that she's walking around with hot pink hair right now, because that would make everyone look at her. She's probably in hiding. Maybe she's really not door dashing. Maybe people saw someone who looked like Jennifer. Maybe she is dashing. because she wouldn't go for the type of Disney front desk job anymore, I'm sure. I don't want any harm to come to her. I just want Madeline Soto to get all the justice she deserves. So stay tuned. We'll keep digging. We'll keep seeing. That's why we keep spending money. Like the docket bought this subset of photos that are basically all redacted. Such is life. And I'm, buying a CARFAX and whatever else I can think of to get all this information together and see what we truly have here, see what is truth. But I thank you so much for watching. Again, stay tuned. As you know, I have plenty other things in the works, so stay tuned, and I'll always keep you guys updated on where I'm heading next, in what case, and what video, and what's going on. Thanks for watching, and take care.
And Chris met us at our hotel by Disney,
Okay.
off of Western Way, and that's where we went.